That's Angry Mom Records in Ithaca, New York. I was just in there buying some stuff, so let's see what I got. Greetings, y'all. Welcome to another video. We keep it real here. Other people would have probably edited that out or started over. Not me. I keep it real. I'm gonna itch. I'm gonna show y'all. But anyways, that was dumb. I should start this over. So today's video, we are talking about the great Angry Mom Records in Ithaca, New York. Now, this wasn't my first visit to Angry Mom. Maybe 2014, I was working on a show up there at Cornell University. We were doing a show about veterinarian students. So I was living there for probably about 3 months or so. And they got a nice little kind of downtown area, shops, restaurants, all this stuff. And there's this used bookstore. And inside this used bookstore, you would go in and go downstairs, and there was Angry Mom Records. And just a great shop. I went there a bunch of times when I was working on that show, bought a lot of stuff from them, and hadn't been back since. Just not too long ago, a few weeks ago, I was driving up to Rochester, New York to go visit my friend Bottlehead, who I used to work at Broadway Video with. And on the way, I was passing through Ithaca, so I decided to stop and check in on Angry Mom. And the cool thing was they used to be, like I mentioned, in the basement of this bookstore, but they've since moved to like almost like the upper floor, you know, but it's like kind of open. It's almost like in a weird way you'd call it almost like a loft space, I guess. But so they're upstairs now in the used bookstore, and it's, I don't know, maybe it's a bit bigger. It definitely feels bigger because the ceilings are pretty high, you know, so it feels more open and everything. And it's certainly brighter in there. And it's just, you know, it's a good setup. I like it a lot. I think they made the right choice by moving upstairs. It's still an awesome shop. The people who work there are great. They got lots of used new records, lots of new used CDs, which that's mainly what I was there for, to check out the used CDs. And I found quite a few things that were actually on my like want list. You know, a lot of times I go into stores and first thing I do is just go through my want list, and it's rare that I find something on there. But in this case, I found a few things that were on my list. But yeah, just an awesome shop there, up there in Ithaca. I highly recommend checking it out. Prices are great, staff is great, store is great. It's great. So let us see what's in the bag, what I got. 2011, we get Vivian Girls and their album Share the Joy. Like this band a lot. I think I discovered them through the TV show New York Noise, which I've mentioned many a times. It was like a music video show that used to be on. I think that's where I discovered them. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing them do like promos for New York Noise. But, you know, kind of like alternative, kind of like vocals, little bit kind of like dreamy pop kind of sound to the vocals. All female band, really good. I think they've had a few, like a lineup change or two, and they may have went on hiatus for a while, but I'm pretty sure they're still around. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they reconvened and are still making music. I think I'm not positive, but I think they are. But yeah, just you know, I've got, I think maybe one or two other records by them. So saw this there and just, you know, certainly grabbed it because I like this band a lot. Some of the tracks on here that I like are The Other Girls, I Heard You Say, Dance If You Wanna, Trying to Pretend, Death, and Take It As It Comes is another one I like a lot. That has like a really kind of like a 50s girl group kind of sound to it, like a Ronettes kind of sound to it. But yeah, good album, good band. Check them out if you're not familiar with them. 1988, we get Keith Richards and Talk Is Cheap. I think I'm not a big Rolling Stones fan. I have like Best Of by them, and that's kind of all I really need. But I don't know, like, forgive me if I'm not up on like their history so well and don't know all the the details, but I think this is his debut solo album. I think this is his first solo record. And Alan Rosenberg can leave a comment down below. He's the Rolling Stone aficionado. He can tell us. It's kind of got that blues rock sound to it. You know, it's just what you'd expect. My memory of this album was that I remember in college radio, this is a few years after this record came out, I think he put out like a live album that had Take It So Hard, which was like the first single from this album, but it had, on that live album, had Take It So Hard, and I remember playing that a lot on my college radio station. Like we had a cart there that you pop on, and I just remember playing that a lot, and it just kind of, I really liked that song. I liked it when it first came out, but I never thought to even pick up the record. Like I said, I wasn't really a Rolling Stones fan or anything like that. And just recently, I just kind of thought about if I see this out there somewhere and the price is right, I'd pick it up. And so I was it was on my want list, like I mentioned at the beginning, and they had it there, so I grabbed it. And I don't, it was a good price. I don't know, maybe I paid $3 or $4 for it. And it's pretty good, I like it. It's a lot of it's in the vein of Take It So Hard, so it's not a big surprise that I enjoyed it. Some of the tracks on here that I like besides Take It So Hard were How I Wish, Locked Away, Rock a While, which is a little repetitive, but I liked it. You Don't Move Me, which again, I know that a lot of people made a big deal about that song when this came out too, because I think a lot of people were under the impression that song was kind of like a dig at Mick Jagger, because I think in the mid 80s there sometime Keith Richards and Mick Jagger were kind of button heads. They weren't getting along too well or whatever, and the Stones, I guess maybe people were wondering if the Rolling Stones would even reconvene at any point, but of course they did, because there is money to be made in those stadium tours, and they were out there doing it still, I guess. 1978, we get Midnight Oil and their self-titled debut. I got to see Midnight Oil live in 2017, I believe, and up until that point, I think I had one CD by them, which was Blue Sky Mining, and I liked that record quite a bit, but never picked anything else up. I think maybe right around the time I saw them live, I picked up Diesels and Dust, and that seemed like it would be all I'd ever need from the band or whatever. After I saw them live, there were a lot of songs during that show that I wasn't familiar with, and really kind of, dug it, and started picking up a lot of their other records as I'd find them. This, I wasn't familiar with this record at all. Grabbed it. It's interesting because the sound of this album, they sound a little bit more, it's a lot more like a heavier guitar sound. Almost like, a lot of stuff on here almost sounds kind of like prog rockish in a way, It doesn't sound like what you're familiar with Midnight Oil sounding like in the 80s and stuff. It's like they haven't really discovered that side of the band yet, or that sound, so it's kind of interesting to hear this sound. There's a lot of guitar noodling and everything. It's interesting, and it's good. I like it. Some of the tracks on here that I like are Surfing with a Spoon and Run by Night is another one. I should probably mention that I've only listened to most of these records like once, maybe twice, so I still have yet to really, really dig into these. 1981, we've got Midnight Oil. Remember how I mentioned how I was starting to pick up a lot of their records? Well, I picked up 2 this day. I think I've got like maybe 7 some odd records. I probably could just turn around and look, but I don't know where the M's are. But anyways, I got quite a handful of their records at this point. And they're a great band. This, like I mentioned, is 1981. The name of this album is Place Without a Postcard. This is starting to sound more like the Midnight Oil we're sort of familiar with. But yeah, another good pickup, another really good album. Enjoying what I've heard so far. I got the lyrics all scrawled in here. And some of the tracks on here I like are Don't Want to Be the One, Armistice Day, and Basement Flat. I believe Armistice Day, I'm having trouble pronouncing that, I believe that was released as a single and did fairly well. Maybe even here in the United States, I don't know, but I think that one did fairly well as a single for them. 2002, we get the Dwarfs, and I'm trying to hide some stuff just so, I don't know, YouTube might pull my video if you see the cover. Dwarves are famous for having some pretty raunchy album covers, but great band, punk band, if you're not familiar with them. And it's funny because they seem like this crazy, bananas, like just extreme hardcore crazy punk band, but some of their songs are so damn catchy. I mean, the lyrics are a little like weird, or risque, or whatever you want to call it, but like the songs, the hooks are really catchy. Like, I mean, they have songs where I'm like, this I could believe hearing this on like top 40 radio. There's so many catchy stuff. There's one on here I'll mention when I get to that. But I've seen them live a couple of times. Really good band. My friend Memphis Mike kind of hit me to these guys. I wasn't that aware of them, and when we were working together, he had like their most recent record at the time and let me borrow it, and I really dug it and started picking up a bunch of their records. I have a handful of them now, but yeah, really, really good band. It was funny because I saw this there, and I'm not used to seeing Dwarves in like used CD sections in record stores, but so I was surprised to see this, so I grabbed it. Hold on, let's do this here. Then when I kind of got it home, and oh geez, I don't know how I'm going to be showing this stuff, but I realized I had a copy of this, not like an actual copy. Somebody burned me a copy of this. Probably Memphis Mike, and it's kind of like a best of. I think they kind of re-recorded some of their like quote unquote classic tracks and just kind of sped them up and just did them faster. Like, hey, we recorded those 10 songs and now they're now it's like 3 minutes shorter or whatever, one of those kinds of deals. So when I realized that, I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have bought it, because I think this one was a little bit more expensive. I think I might have paid like $6 or $7, like maybe $7 for this one. And it was used, but I put it on, and I mean, it's good, I mean, I think I have a lot of these songs on other CDs that they were on, so it almost kind of felt like, I don't know if I really needed to pick this up. If I realized that when I was in the store, I have a feeling I wouldn't have picked it up, but whatever, it's cool to have. Add the collection. Some of the tracks on here that I like are Dominator, Way Out, Follow Me, Drugstore, Dairy Queen, and Saturday Night. Saturday Night's one of those songs that I was kind of referring to earlier, where it's like that song, the lyrics are kind of like, like serial killerish or whatever, but the song itself is so damn catchy that it's like you change some of these lyrics up or whatever, and I mean, this sounds like it could be a top 40 hit. 2001, we get the Dropkick Murphys and their album Sing Loud, Sing Proud. Dropkick Murphys, kind of Irish tinged punk band from Boston, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, they got to be from Boston, right? On Hellcat Records. Seen them live, I think maybe like twice. Great band, great live show. This folds out here. I got lyrics and little pictures, a little collage here. All their buddies and stuff and their adventures and exploits, I guess. But this album has my favorite song by them, The Gauntlet, which I really love. I love that song. And so when I saw this there at Angry Mom, I knew this was the album that had Gauntlet on it. I just picked it up. Again, I feel like I don't see Dropkick Murphys out there in stores too much, used CDs and stuff, so really cool to have this. I think I have like maybe one other CD by them. But some of the tracks on here that I like are The Legend of Finn McCumhale, Which Side Are You On, The New American Way, Ramble and Roll, and like I mentioned, the Gauntlet's on here. And finally, 1979, we get Stiff Little Fingers and their album Inflammable Material. This one, I sort of knew Stiff Little Fingers. I'd heard of them, didn't know much about them. I think maybe even when I first heard of them, I thought it maybe was like a Rolling Stones tribute band or something like that. But it was just one of those bands, like I knew the name but didn't know anything about it and didn't ever really dig into it or whatever. And one of my favorites on YouTube, Hannah, the Omaha introvert, that I'm sure a bunch of you guys are familiar with. She's got great taste in music, and she, I guess, maybe picked this up on vinyl recently, or either that, or she did like a listing video of like 10 of her favorite records or something like that. But whatever it was, she was recently talking about this record, and I trust her opinion. Like I said, she has really good taste in music, and I just decided, like, let me check that out. She's talking so highly about it, and so I'd been on the look for it and never see it in a store or anything like that. I probably looked on eBay, and maybe it was a little expensive or whatever. So I just kind of, had it on my want list, and lo and behold, there it was at Angry Mom. They had it, so I grabbed it. Really excited that they did, and couldn't believe it. And got home, popped it in, and this is the best of the batch. These are all good records, but this is the best of the batch. I love this record. It's awesome. I don't know how this slipped past me for so many years. I would have thought I would have heard something from this and went out and picked this up. But yeah, this is just an awesome album. Some of the tunes on here I like are Suspect Device, Wasted Life, No More of That, Barbed Wire Love, Law and Order, Alternative Ulster, and Johnny Was, which is a Bob Marley cover. And they do it like this. It's like this epic version. It sounds like it should have been like an album closer, it's got that kind of feel to it, and I don't know. I mean, that's the 11th song on this. There's 2 songs after that. And I don't think this is any kind of, like, I don't think it did close the album, and these other 2 are like bonus tracks or anything like that. I mean, if you told me they were, I'd be like, okay, I get it. But I don't think it is. I think these 13 tracks are from the original album. This is the way it was. But yeah, if you're not familiar with them, you like punk, definitely go pick this one up. Hannah, the Omaha introvert, did not disappoint again. This is a great suggestion by her. I'm glad I finally found it and picked it up and got my hands on it. And all thanks to Angry Mom Records in Ithaca, New York. Great shop. Go check them out. Great prices, great selection, great staff. Go check them out. Thank you for watching. See you another time. Bye.